What's up guys, you're watching Ty's iPhone Help. In this video we're going to be talking about the rumors of the iPad 2. So there's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. So first off, the rumors were previously that the iPad would be announced in January at one of their events and then available in March, and that's actually kind of slipping away from us now. It's already January 18th. They're going to announce this thing in January. They better hurry up and get to it. Now, some people are saying that the product, the iPad 2, actually may be delayed just a little bit because of Steve Jobs' medical leave from Apple. He's having some more health issues. He said he wants to focus more on his health than being the CEO of Apple. He's still going to be managing things and all that. But will this delay the launch of the iPad 2? We'll have to find out. What do you guys think about that? Now let's talk about the actual stuff, like the specs. What's going to be different in the iPad 2 compared to the first generation iPad? So the first thing, it's going to have a more compact form factor. This is pretty much a given. There's actually supposedly been case makers have gotten dimensions of the iPad 2, and it's supposed to be a little bit thinner in depth, which is again is pretty much a given because all Apple products with every new generation always get a little bit smaller, thinner, and lighter. Number two is that it will have a different size and aspect ratio. Now, some people are saying it's going to be around 7 inches. Will this happen? I actually doubt it. Steve Jobs actually even said that they wouldn't do a 7-inch tablet. I don't think that they would go up changing the whole size of the iPad 2. If you think about it, all the previous generations, the iOS devices haven't really changed in size because the apps, think about that. They already had to, all the developers had to change all the apps to fit the iPad, whereas they used to fit the iPhone. Do you think they're going to make them change and develop all their applications and resize them for the iPad 2? I doubt that. So in my opinion, I think the size of the iPad is the perfect size. I don't think they're going to try to stray away from that anytime soon. Rumor number 3 is that the second generation iPad will be getting an SD card slot. There have actually been pictures posted of mock-ups of the iPad 2's design showing a slot which is actually the size of an SD card. And even Engadget has confirmed with their sources that the iPad 2 will be getting an SD card slot. It's a big customer demand, so will Apple fill it? We'll have to see. Rumor number 4 is that the iPad 2 is actually going to be upgraded to Apple's A5 processor, which actually is supposedly going to be in the iPhone 5 as well. They're going to be making the move from Infineon to Qualcomm, and supposedly they're going to have a unification of CDMA and GSM, so they can actually use it on both carriers, Verizon and AT&T, or whatever carriers you guys have. That would be pretty cool if they actually did make it one device for both carriers. That would make it a lot easier on us jailbreakers because we wouldn't have to have 2 separate jailbreaks for each device. And it's pretty much a given that they're going to be upgrading the processor. It's been done over the years for all the iOS devices. So it's pretty much a given that it will happen on the iPad 2, and it's actually, if it will be getting an SD card slot, that will be pretty much necessary. Rumor number 5 is that the iPad 2 will have dual cameras, so that's 2 cameras and even flash on it. This is pretty much a given. Apple's wanting to integrate FaceTime with all their devices, from the iPhones, the iPods, Macs. It's pretty much a given that the iPad is next. In my opinion, I don't really care for a back-facing camera on the iPad. If they do, I would rather have the front-facing camera be better than the back-facing camera, because that's one you're going to be using most for FaceTime chatting. And of course, if they do put a back-facing camera, flash would be a pretty good addition. But again, I don't want to take a picture with this big device. There have actually even been cases supposedly showing a hole for the iPad's camera. Whether it's for publicity or not, we don't know. But ever since the actual launch of the iPad, people have been finding code referring to a camera. And actually in the newer firmwares, they've even found code with FaceTime in it. So an actual FaceTime application in the newer firmware. So it's pretty much a given. FaceTime and dual cameras will be coming to the iPad 2. Rumor number 6 is that the iPad will have a speaker upgrade. This is pretty much a given. They definitely want to do this, and actually on some of the mock-ups they've been showing, they've actually got different places which people are saying are for a speaker. So a lot of people don't like the speaker on the iPad first generation, so I'm pretty sure they're definitely going to be upgrading that on the second generation of the iPad, just because it deserves to be updated. Number 7, which I actually find very unlike Apple, is that they will have actually a second USB port over here on the side for docking it in landscape and portrait, which I don't think that's going to happen. What do you guys think about that? Number 8 is another one that I find kind of crazy, is that they're going to actually be adding a bezel back here to the back of the device that's going to be able to have gestures on it. So you're actually going to be able to control it without touching the screen, which, again, very unlikely for Apple. I don't think they're going to be doing that anytime soon. and they advertise the iPad as you can hold it anyway. So I just don't see them adding gestures to the back of the iPad. They want you to touch it. That's the whole point of the iPad, is it's got the touch screen. So back controls definitely out of the picture in my opinion. Rumor number 9 is that the iPad 2 will be getting iLife apps, which if they are going to be upgrading the processors, everything like that, along with an SD card slot, that could work. I think they're definitely going to be doing this. Apple is trying to bring their iPad and iPhone design to the MacBook Air, so I think it's actually kind of a two-way street, whereas the iPad is actually going to be getting the stuff from the Mac as well. It's a big customer demand. A lot of people would actually like to have those apps on their iPad, and I think they're going to be able to make it possible. Now that they're doing full screen apps on your Mac, I think it's going to be pretty easy to transfer that over to the iPad and make it work. Rumor number 10, and the one that I actually think has the most ground, is that the iPad 2 will have a very high resolution display. This makes sense. Apple likes to put out new products that are brilliant and beautiful and amazing. They like to say those words a lot when they're talking about their new products. So they definitely want to upgrade the display on this, not to just compete with all the other tablets coming out on the market, but just to make their device a more beautiful look. They're actually really focusing the iPad on media and pictures and all that kind of stuff, so an upgraded display is pretty much given on the iPad 2. Even actually leaked developer assets show that the iPad 2 has a better display, such as where the iPhone 3GS upgraded the iPhone 4. So definitely getting a new, better display on the iPad 2. So I think they'll actually try to lower the price point, even though the iPad first generation has a really great price point of $500. It's doing really well in the market right now, but I think they're going to try to lower it to $400 just to kind of better compete with the tablet market that's out there now. So that's most of the rumors going around the net right now about the iPad 2. What do you guys think? Have you heard any rumors that I didn't go over in this video? If you haven't, actually go ahead and check out my last video that I did on the iPad 2, where it's going to be in the next 100 days. And again, if they're going to actually go along with that, they better hurry up. So let me know what you think about this. Will you be getting the iPad 2 if some of these rumors are true? What would you like to see in the iPad that I haven't talked about? And what do you think that Apple will do on the iPad 2 that I haven't mentioned? So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button above the video for more videos just like this on the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.